hope I'm audible and screen is also visible. Hello, please somebody respond so that.
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir, yes.
Thank you. So, in last lecture, maybe third chapter is covered, which was I think resonant inverters by Namdar sir. So today we are going to start the fourth chapter, which is photovoltaic voltaic inverters. Okay, so last time we had 1 week of gap. So after this we are starting today. So in MPE, we have the entire converters and inverters, where majority we have inverter topologies here, and in first chapter only you have learned the rectifier circuits. Second, we learned the multi-level inverters. Third, you have learned um, the resonant inverters, and today we are starting this photovoltaic inverter. Okay, so these inverters is having a wide range of applications in various fields. So as far as the today's topic is concerned, here the name itself reflects where these uh, inverters are used. Okay, so photovoltaic voltaic inverters is majority used into the grid systems. Okay, normally we know the PV system, uh, which is where we use our input is the solar energy. By using that solar energy, we convert it into a DC signals or uh, DC voltage. Okay, and then we store it into the batteries, and then we use it. So that is the one conventional way of the PV system. So another way of use this PV is that we have to generate from PV, and we have to feed directly to the grid. Okay, so one way is, suppose this is your PV system. Okay, so here there is a solar radiations. Okay, and here we are producing the DC value. Sorry, here we are producing DC. Okay, and normally in conventional way we have batteries here. Okay, we have batteries we are using, and then we are connecting this battery to the inverter circuitry. Okay, and then we are using here in the form of AC. So that is the conventional approach. That is the conventional approach. Okay, so here we know the cost of the PV system is very high. Okay, and as far as this conventional approach is concerned, we have to invest a lot in this section, batteries. Okay, where it is having a lot of maintenance also. So to avoid this, okay, and here to feed that DC to the grid, okay, so here batteries require more maintenance. Okay, and inverter design also becomes it becomes variable. Okay, so instead of uh, using this battery, okay, can we feed that DC directly to the grid? Okay, so what we are doing here with this AC, either we are feeding to the, if we consider the distributed power system network, here we are connecting to directly to this grid. Okay, otherwise we are connecting some loads at this side. Okay, so this chapter is concerned with the grid connected inverters. Okay, so we have to generate the energy from the PV panels, and we have to directly feed to this grid. Okay, so in that case, this PV inverter is the key element of the grid connected PV power systems. Okay, and the main function is that we have to synchronize this PV panel with the grid with the help of the inverters. Okay, we have to design the inverters for this PV system, specifically for this PV system, and we have to make the synchronization between the PV and this grid. Okay, so if we see this approach would be in this way. Here we have PV, here we have this solar radiation. Okay, here we have this DC. Obviously, this PV output is DC. Here we are directly connecting this inverters here, and then here it is directly we are feeding to this grid. Okay, in this way. So for this type to design on the inverter, that inverter design is different than the inverters which we are using in case of a drive applications or in any other application. So this inverter design, which is specifically used for this PV, is different. Okay. So what is different? Their functionality is different. Their operation is little bit complex. The switching is little bit complex. Okay. So why it is designed separately or independently or specifically for this PV system? Why not the conventional inverters we are using this? Because as far as this PV system is concerned, we know we have to invest a lot for this uh, PV system, okay, or grid connected PV system. So as far as the investment is concerned, we need a very efficient output here, okay, and to produce the efficient output, we have to design this inverter specifically, or like we know the special purpose motors. Similarly, these are the special purpose inverters which are designed for the PV system. Okay, so we have to see about this. What is PV inverter? Okay, or photovoltaic inverters? How these photovoltaic inverters are invented? Okay, from where this concept starts. So that entire thing. What are the different topologies? How it is used? How the operation is there? How the switching is there? So that we are going to see in this chapter. Okay, so we'll see one by one. So here, depending on the our power system plant, okay, so these PV inverters are categorized, okay, in this way. Okay, so what is the plant we have? Okay, whether we are using for this household applications, where if we are using for this commercial application, okay, or we are using for very big plant. So based on this, these PV inverters are categorized. Okay, so first PV inverter is named as a module integrated inverter. Okay, so this inverter is used in the range of loads from 50 to 400 watt range. Okay, so this module integrated is for 50 to 400 watt, so which is a very small load. Okay, so that we know a single panel can also generate this much of wattage. Okay, so for the small applications, okay, where if we are using this inverter, then these inverters are categorized as a module integrated inverters. Okay, so here the range of this module integrated inverter is 50 to 400 watt. Okay, and it is used for the small PV panel. Okay, it can be one panel, or two small panel can contribute 400 watt, or one panel can contribute 400 watt, up to 400 watt. Okay, so second category is string inverter. Okay, so string inverter means here these inverters are used in the range between zero point 0.4 to 2 kilowatt. Okay, zero point 0.4 means it is from 400 to 2000 watt. Okay, from 400 to 200 watt. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for the interruption. We'll continue now. Okay, so string inverters whose range is from 400 to 2000 watt. Okay, so in that applications, these are named as a string inverters. Multi-string inverters whose range is more than 6 kilowatt, and similarly then mini central inverters. So if we see this, as this range of this load or the range of this grid is increasing, accordingly the names of these PV inverters are also changing based on their uh, construction, based on their operation, based on their functionality. Okay, so these are the categories. Okay, and these categories are differentiated based on the load and based on the applications. Okay, so here we are concerned about only the loading of the grid or any particular load. Okay, so these are the different PV inverter categories. Then after this, we'll see the basic H bridge. Okay, so in that basic H bridge, so if you see, as I told you, these PV inverters are a little complex uh, in both hardware and its functionality. Okay, so it needs more devices as compared to the conventional um, grid system or conventional power system network. Okay, so here we need first the PV. Okay, then we here need the filter to filter out the unwanted part of the DC. Then we have, after filter, we have here basic FB inverter. FB means it is abbreviated, full bridge is abbreviated as FB here. Okay, so full bridge. Then after bridge, then there is again filter circuit to filter out the unwanted part of the AC, and then we are feeding directly to this grid. Okay, so here this is the basic topology. Okay, or this is the basic which was invented by the various companies, like SMA is one of the company who manufacture this grid connected or this photovoltaic inverter. Then there is another company which is named as a Sunways. Okay, then there is a Co Energy is also one of the company. Okay, then Danfoss is also one of the company who manufactures this type of PV inverters. Okay, and these are referred as a high efficient inverters. Okay, so if we see the structure is very simple. Okay, so it is a simple bridge is there. Okay, so here we have this um, PV array. PV array means a series of panels can be connected in either series or parallel combinations. So it is a PV array system. So here input is solar energy. This solar energy, by using the solar energy, DC output is produced. So that DC is coming here. Okay, and the unwanted part is eliminated, or this variable DC is regulated by using this CPV capacitor, and then we are feeding directly to this grid. Okay, so this is the simple bridge. We know this. Okay, so it can we can also use this for DC to DC, or it can also be used for DC to AC application. Okay, so it is based on our switching, how we are switching this. Okay, so as far as this is concerned, our this we are using for the DC to AC. Okay, so here based on the functionalities or the based on the operation, this it means this basic H bridge we can drive in three different ways. Okay, or we can say uh, these PV inverters are manufactured based on this H bridge type. Okay, and second is the neutral point neutral point clamp we have learned in the multi-level inverters. Okay, so right now we are dealing with this, okay, H bridge type of a inverter. So this is basic H bridge inverter. Okay, so this H bridge inverter, it was developed in 1965. Okay, and here this we can drive in n different ways, three different ways. Okay, and these three different ways I will list here. The driving means what? Here we have to turn on the switches and we have to produce the output. Okay, so when we are turning on the switches, we are giving some pulses to these switches. Okay, and then we are producing this output. So this technique we referred as a modulation technique. Okay, so modulation means we have to produce the pulse and we have to modulate it, okay, to produce the output. So first is the bipolar modulation, bipolar modulation. Second is the unipolar modulation, okay, and third is the hybrid modulation. So these are the three modulation techniques. By using these three modulation techniques, we can drive this H bridge inverter. Okay, and we can produce the output. And then we have to see by producing the output using these three modulation whether it is feasible to fit this to this grid or not. Okay, so we'll see one by one what happens in bipolar, what happens in unipolar, and what happens in hybrid modulation. Okay. So next here, so as I listed the types here. Okay, so first we see the bipolar modulation. So here if you see in bipolar modulation, there are two types of operation is here. Okay, so one is here if you see here the PV system is there. Okay, and we are producing DC, we are filtering out this component or we are regulating this. Then first we are giving pulse to this S1, so current will flow to the S1. Okay, through S1 it comes to this A point. From this A it will flow through this L1. Okay, and it will flow through this grid. It will come here again. It will it will flow through this S4 switch. Okay, here after S4 it will come and it will be end here. So if you see this, the direction of the current is from upward to downward. So here one cycle can be produced at the output. Okay, because this this type of output is produced here. Now if you see the second uh, type of a switching, in that we are giving pulse to this S3 and we are giving pulse to this S2. So initially current will flow in this way. It will flow through S2. It will come to this B point. From this L2, it will come to this grid, and again it comes to this A point. From A2 again, it will flow to S2, and S2 to it will be closed here. Okay, so in this way, after positive, if we see the direction of current is opposite, so immediately the negative cycle will be produced in this way. Okay, and as there is a filter, okay, there is a filter, L is connected, so output can be produced in this way. Okay, it is more or like a sine. Okay, otherwise output will be a rectangular. So here in this way, this is called as a bipolar modulation. It is called as a bipolar modulation. So here output is direct. It is like a simple single phase full bridge inverter type of output is produced here. Okay, and if you see here, uh, there is one component, okay, uh, which is here referred here as a VPE. Okay, it is referred here as a VPE. It is a earthing point, okay, and it is the common earthing. It is given there to this PV side. Okay, so for this VP is the voltage component, but it is at the grid frequency only. Okay, so no any switching frequency is involved here. Why switching frequency is not involved? Because it is the part of this grid. Okay, and switching is only concerned with the switches and the controller which we are using there. Okay, so if there is some leakage into the system, leakage current, that will be earthed here to this earthing system or this VPU. So this switching is a simple, and this switching is named as here as a bipolar type of a modulation. Okay, so in this way also we can drive this basic H bridge inverter. Then second is the unipolar modulation. Okay, or it can be called as UP modulation, unipolar modulation. So here if you observe, it is slightly different. Okay, so initially the PV system is there, then the PV capacitor is there. Okay, so here if you see, the pulse is given here, but the direction of current is shown here is a different. Okay, so here you might have a question. Here we have this grid, here we have this PV system, here we have the switches, we have given uh, the pulse to the two switches, that is this S1 and this S3. Okay, so if you observe the previous one, in that case we have given the pulse to the diagonally opposite switches. Okay, it means here if you see S1 S4, this is S1, this is S4, and then S2 S3, this is S2, this is S3. So that is how the cycle or the output is we produce here in bipolar modulation. So here you will see, here we are giving the pulse initially to S1 and to here S3. Okay, so what happens? So here they have assumed the inductor filters which are there at the grid side, they are pre-charged. Okay, so once we give the pulse to the S1 and S3, that is from leg 1, leg A, and this leg B. So in that case, this type of operation will be there. Okay, so from L2 filter, it will come to this S3. From S3 it will come to S1, and from S1 to A to again to this L1, L1 to grid. So in this way it will be discharged. So in that case, if you see, this is the PV system is not connected to this, not connected here. So initially here, if you see, the zero output would be produced here. Okay, why? Because this input or that is the source is not connected, so zero output would be here. Then if you see the next, okay, so here in the next, if you see, the two diagonally opposite switches are turned on, like bipolar modulation. Okay, so S1 and S4 is turned on, so current will flow from this PV S1 A, then L1, this grid L2, then S4, and it will be then closed here at this end of this PV panel. So in that case, if you see, the positive half is produced here in this way. Okay, positive half is produced. Then if you see again, the two switches at the end, the two switches from the two different lanes, okay, which are not diagonally opposite. Okay, here now if you see here, S4, S2, S4 is turned on, this S2 and this S4 is then turned on. So how the current will flow here? So here again, current will flow from this L2 to this D4, okay, or this S4. From S4 it will come to this S2. From S2 it will come to this A point. From A again it will be close to L1. It will be close to this grid. Okay, so here in this way again, if you see, this is not again connected. PV system is not connected to this load. So what happens here? Again, this at this time the zero output will be produced for some interval. Okay, so that zero instant is extended again. Okay, so this is what about this A is for the positive half. Okay, in the for again to produce a negative half, as this is our inverter operation. Again here the first operation would be there. Okay, so if you see this operation here, this S3, and here uh, S1, sorry, this is S1, then S3, this S3, and the diode D1. Okay, diode D1 is turned on. Okay, so if you see, the pulse is given here S1 and S3 again, like this, like our uh, first modulation. So in that case again 0 is produced here. Okay, and why 0 is produced? Because this PV is not connected to this grid. Okay, so no any uh, synchronization or no, not synchronization, no any output of the PV system is connected to this grid. So that is the reason it is we are assuming as a 0. But obviously there will be some grid voltage. Okay, but we are referring this grid with respect to PV, so that is the reason again it is 0. So when we connect the PV to produce the negative half, so again like bipolar switching, we apply the pulse to this S3 and this S2, which are two diagonally opposite switch. Okay, so here the direction of current to this load is opposite um, to this opposite to this positive half. Okay, so that is the reason here the negative half will be produced. Okay, and again to produce the 0 output, these two switches from the two different legs which are not diagonally opposite, these are turned on again and 0 output is produced. Okay, so in the here if you observe, here the 0 component is more. Okay, here the 0 component in the output is more. So, so that is the system. So that is the reason this is not used uh, majorly in the case of a grid connected system. Okay, it is that is the reason it is named as a unipolar. Okay, why? Because 0 is more here. Okay, as compared to this previous. So in previous there was no any 0 component, only the positive and the negative. So here there is 0 component is more. Okay, so again here there is a VP, that is this voltage component. Okay, so this voltage component is again for the fundamental frequency of this grid. No any switching frequency is involved here. Okay, so this is what about the unipolar. So what is the difference here? So here the output magnitude will be less as compared to this input. Why? Because 0 instant is more here. Okay, so depending on the requirement and depending on the application, we have to use this modulation technique. Now third one is the hybrid modulation. Okay, so hybrid name itself indicates the hybrid. Okay, so hybrid means as I told you in the previous two, this VP is only for the fundamental frequency component, which is of grid component. Okay, so here we have two frequency components. One is the switching frequency, okay, which is a very high frequency, and one is the grid frequency, which is a fundamental frequency. So grid frequencies, it can be 50 hertz, it can be 60 hertz. Okay, and switching frequency. Okay, so I'll write here the fundamental frequency is 50 hertz or 60 hertz. Okay, and switching frequency switching frequency is, it can be from 8 to 20 kilohertz. Okay, so switching frequency or this uh, it can also be called as a carrier frequency. Okay, so it is used to produce the PWM output. So here hybrid is referred here. One of the switches from leg A. Okay, so this is the A point, and this entire is referred as a leg A. This is B point, and these two switches are referred from this B leg. Okay, so S1, S2 are from A leg, S3, S4 are from B leg. Okay, so one of the switch from this A leg is switched at the fundamental frequency, and remaining switch from the different leg is switched at the switching frequency. And by using this output is produced, and that is the reason it is named here as a uh, hybrid modulation. Here we are switching the switches from this H bridge, one switch is for the fundamental frequency and one switch is for the switching frequency or with respect to the carrier frequency. Okay, so in this way we are producing or giving the pulse to the switches and we are producing the output at the end. Okay, so here if you see for this first operation in case of a hybrid modulation, the pulse is given here S1 to this S1 switch, from S1 to A to this L1 filter, L1 to this grid, again it comes to this S4 and S4 to again it is connected back to this PV node. So if you see here, it is also written over here. Leg A is switched at 16 kilohertz. Okay, and leg B is switched at 50 hertz only. Okay, so leg B, this is the leg B. From this leg B, S4 is turned on. So this S4 turning on will be with respect to this 50 hertz. Okay, and leg A is switched on at 16 kilohertz. So in S1, so in leg A, we have this S1 switch. Okay, and for this S1, 16 kilohertz is there. So the switching of this, so now you tell me which switch is switched frequently, either this S1 switch or this S4 switch from this S1 or this S4. Okay, you just simply read over here. Okay, leg A switched at 16 kilohertz. Okay, and leg B at 50 kilohertz. So in leg A we have S1 is switched, in leg B we have S4 is switched. Okay, or here it is, we can call it is turned on. Okay, so obviously its frequency is very high, so time period will be less. The switching of this S1 will be faster than this S4 switch, and in this way the output is produced. Okay, so this is called as a hybrid modulation. Okay, similarly for negative half, now here the two switches from the two different legs and which are not diagonally opposite. Once we turn on the switches which are not diagonally opposite, the zero output is produced. Okay, so here after positive half, this S1 and S3 is turned on. So what happens? Whatever is the stored energy into this inductor filters at this grid end. Okay, so that inductor will discharge through this switching and then zero output is produced there. Okay, and then to produce a negative half, again we have to turn on the switches which are diagonally opposite, that is S3 and this S2. Okay, if you see the direction of current is opposite, so negative half is produced. After negative half, again to produce a zero, the two switches from this lower end which are not diagonally opposite is turned on, again zero output is produced. So here for every operation, one switch from the A leg we are switching with some frequency, and the one switch from another leg we are switching at some another frequency. Okay, so because of this uses of these two different frequencies simultaneously, or the switching of these two different switches with two different frequencies. Okay, so these are named as a hybrid modulation. Okay, these are named as a hybrid modulation. So here if we consider the S1, okay, or if we observe the pulse of the S1, then that pulse will vary, it will be very small. Okay, why? Because it is switched at very high frequency. Okay, these pulses are very small. Okay, and if we see the pulses of S4 here, then that pulses will be more. Its pulse width will be more here. Okay, so depends on the frequency. So by using this, we are producing the output. Okay, again based on the application, based on the requirement, we have to check for this hybrid modulation. Okay, so these are the three different ways or the three different modulation techniques. By using this, we can uh, operate this basic H bridge inverter. Okay, so this H bridge inverter can be derived in three different ways, which we have learned, either in bipolar modulation, that is positive negative output is produced, in unipolar modulation, again zero. So here we can write in short. Okay, so here suppose this VPV is there, we are producing at the output. So here it is produced plus VPE and minus VPE. Only these two parts are here in bipolar modulation. Here if you see the output initially here it is 0, from 0 to plus VPV is produced, then again it is produced 0, okay, again 0, after this minus Vp is there and again 0 is there. So in this way the output is produced here. Okay, then in hybrid, if you see in hybrid again, first is plus Vpe, okay, then it is 0, then here it is minus Vpe, and then again 0. Okay, obviously that output at this side will vary. Okay, why? Because here the switching is at the different frequencies. Okay, so in this way, so depending on the requirements or the depending on the this type of outputs, we have to switch the switches in the H bridge. Okay, so we can use any of this modulation technique. Okay, so this is about the modulation techniques. Now there is a next inverter. Okay, some modification takes place into the basic H bridge inverter. Okay, and in 2005, okay, in 2005, the SMA, it is one of the company who manufactures the PV inverters. Okay, he patented this topology, okay, and claimed that the output produced by using this topology is high as compared to the conventional or the existing simple full bridge inverter. Okay, so in 2005, SMA company manufactures the PV inverters, patented this topology. Okay, and they claimed there. Okay, so here, if you see, here we have this capacitor again for the filter. Here we have this VPV, that is voltage of this PV system. Okay, so what modification they have done? They have this added this S5 switch only. They have added this only S5 switch. Remaining all it is same as same as that of the conventional bridge. Okay, so once that one more switch comes into the series, okay, then switching will be again changed. Okay, so how this switch or how this H5 inverter, so why it is named as the H5? It is named because there are five switches we are using there. Okay, S1, S4, S1, S2, S3, and S4. So for five and this S5. So five switches are we are using this. Okay, so let us see how these switches are switched. Okay, so it is again simple, very simple. Uh, S5 is turned on first. Okay, then S1. Two diagonally switches from the bridge, that is S1 and S4 is turned on. Okay, and then output is produced. Okay, so that output I assume here as a plus VPV output is produced. Again, the two switches which are not diagonally opposite but from the two different legs are switched. Okay, so in that case this PV system is not connected to the load, so here the zero output voltage is produced. Okay, then in next cycle, okay, S5 is again continuously on. Again two diagonally switches, opposite switches, that is S3 and S2 is turned on. Okay, and the negative output voltage is produced, that is minus VPV output is produced. And again to produce a zero, two switches from the two different legs which are not in diagonally opposite switches, these are again turned on, and here again zero is produced there. Okay, so in this way again output is produced by using this S5 H5 inverter. Okay, so how this performance can be increased with respect to uh, the conventional bridge inverters. Okay, so for that we have to see or we have to simulate this. Okay, and we have to uh, observe uh, uh, the output voltage or the harmonic content from the output of the conventional H bridge and this H5 bridge. From that results we can verify this. Okay, but here if you see, even though they have filtered out or they have produced a very fine output as compared to the conventional full bridge inverter, but there is some drawback here. Okay, so again they are using the hybrid type of a topology here. So if you see here, S5 S4 are switched at high frequency and S1 is switched at the line frequency. Line frequency means again it is a grid frequency. Okay, so here S5 and this S4 is turned on at high frequency, and S1, this S1 is switched at the line frequency. Line frequency means at the grid frequency. So pulse width for S5 S4 is same. Okay, and pulse width for S1 is different. Similarly here in this case, okay, S5 S4 are switched at high frequency. So here S5 is not turned on. Okay, so here it is off. So S1 will be turned on at again line frequency, and this S3 will be again turned on at uh, S1 will be turned on at the line frequency. So here no S3 will be on. Here the diode is on. Here D3 is on here. Okay, so there is no any switching. But if you see for the negative half again, this S5 is on. Okay, again it is switched at the high frequency. So because of the uh, switching of these switches, okay, frequent switching will be there. So the switching loss produced, the switching losses which takes place into this H5 inverter topology will be more than the switching loss which takes place into the normal H bridge inverter. Okay, why the switching loss is high here? Because one more switch is added here. Okay, no doubt the performance will be increased there, but some switching losses will be increased there. Why? Because this switch is added additionally. Okay, and this switch is switched at a very high frequency. So because of the high frequency switching, the switching losses will be more there. Okay, so this switching results into the heat. Okay, so to again to dissipate that heat into the um, atmosphere, we have to connect um, the high watts of the heat sink to that particular switch into our circuitry. Okay, so as far as the practical circuit is concerned. Okay, so heat sinks requirement, more heat sink requirement is more watt heat sink requirement is for S5 and S4. Okay, so for S1 we can use a less wattage of the heat sinks. Okay, so again there is a calculation to find out the to find out the range of the heat sinks for the different switches. So depending on the switching, we have to calculate and we have to find out the size of the heat sink to be connected or to be connected to this switch. Okay, so in this way H5 inverter will operate. Okay, so it is a slight modification which takes place into the basic H bridge inverter. Okay, and here that company SMA is manufacturing this type of inverters, and they are using this for the grid connected systems. Again, some modification is done into this uh, basic H bridge, okay, and which is again here named as a Herrick inverter, okay. So and which is manufactured by the Sunways company. It is also manufacturing the PV inverters. Okay, they are also manufacturing the PV inverters. This company is specifically dedicated to manufacture this PV inverters. Okay, so what modification they have done into this basic edge bridge? So if you see this, the two switches which are connected in series. Okay, so if you see this, they are connected in a back-to-back way. Okay, back-to-back way, these switches are connected in series. Okay, so this clearly indicates or the connection of the switches at this end of this inverter reflects that it is only produced to produce the zero output, okay, or whatever is the charged filters that can be discharged through these circuits only. Okay, so to avoid the exchange of power between L1 and this CPV. Okay, so one more point I just forget you to tell. Okay, so if there is no zero switching into the system, what happens? This L1 may charge or discharge this C, or this C or that C may charge or discharge. Uh, Sorry, this L1 L2 may charge the C1 if this L1 L2 is dominant, or this C can charge L1 L2 if this C is dominant. So that for that exchange of energy we can, as these are the reactive elements L and C, so we can call this as a reactive power exchange. Okay, so if there is no zero component, okay, so there will be a reactive power exchange between reactive power exchange takes place between this CPV and this filters at this grid side. Okay, so we have to avoid this reactive power exchange to produce a better output at this end. Okay, so from this I just remember, so it is specifically connected to produce the zero and to avoid the reactive power exchange of L1, L2 with respect to this C, or C with respect to this L1 and L2. Okay, so this adding these two switches before the AC filter is named here as a Herrick inverter. Okay, and which is manufactured by the Sunways company. So again, let us see the switching of this, how these switches can be, how this topology can be switched. Okay, so again, like bipolar inverter, two diagonally opposite switches from the two different legs are turned on, which is S1 and this S4. Okay, so what happens here? Current will flow through this grid. Okay, and the positive output will be produced here. Now to produce again zero, what they have done, they are simply turning on these two switches only. Okay, or if you see here, the only one single switch is turned on. Okay, so S1 is turned on here. Okay, and what happens, the energy will be which is stored into this AC filters, that will be dissipated, or that will be it's like a freewheeling. That energy will be freewheeled through these switches. Okay, and uh, reactive power exchange between this L1 and that CPV is avoided. Okay, in this switching itself, and zero output is produced. Here we can say the plus VPV is produced. Here we can say here it is 0 volt is produced. Okay, now to produce a minus VPV, we have this type of a switching. Again, two diagonally opposite switches, that is S3 and S2 are turned on. Okay, and the direction of this current through this load is opposite to that of this first, so the output will be into the negative half, so minus VPV is produced. And again, to produce a zero, again these switches near to this filter is turned on. So here if you see that S1 and uh, this diode D is on here. if you see here that S, here it is referred as a S plus, okay, and here it is referred as a D plus. Here it is this which is referred as a S minus and D minus. So here in the first case S plus and D minus is on and energy will be prebuilt into the zero output. After the negative half, D plus is turned on and S minus is turned on, and again zero is produced here. Okay, so in this way zero is produced. So see, this is the operation which I am explaining to you. Okay, so based on the parameters, based by considering the input value of voltage and the output value of voltage, by considering the uh, rating of the switches, okay, and by considering the value of the grid, by considering the value of the grid, which is of what value, again the performance will be analyzed, okay, and this hierarchy inverter make claim that we get a better performance, okay, as compared to this previous two systems. Okay, so this is again a modification takes place into the basic H bridge inverter. Okay, now this is again one more topology which is again modified into this H bridge. Okay, and again output is produced. So if you observe this today here, here there is a PV system. Instead of single, the two capacitors are added there. Okay, and then here again one more PV is connected cell. Here one more PV battery is there. Okay, and again two more capacitors are connected in here series. Okay, so that comes under the neutral point clamping. Okay, so if you see this intermediate point of this, if we assume this as a C1 and if we assume this as C2, then intermediate point of this C1 C2 is here used here as a this this point is used here as a neutral point. Okay, so that is this comes under the neutral point clamping. Okay, so how that neutral point clamping operates and all this, that we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, so it is a very short topic and very easy topic is that. Okay, so no any equations are there, no complicated waveforms. Only here we have to understand the switching, the different topologies, and we have to understand their switching. Okay, so this is about uh, the today's lecture where we learn uh, the importance of the PV inverters. Then we learn the basic PV module or the basic H bridge full bridge inverter. There are three different methods, that is bipolar, unipolar, hybrid. Okay, and the modification which takes place into the basic full bridge inverter topologies, which is named as H5, which is manufactured by SMA company, and then Herrick inverter, which is manufactured by the Fenway company. And we also understand the switching of this. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see the neutral point clamping uh, topologies, and we also understand their switching. Okay, so for today, we stop here. If anything want to ask, you can ask. Okay, then we stop here.